ADDIE model. The ADDIE model is one of the most widely used instructional design frameworks. ADDIE stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. It provides a systematic process for designing effective learning experiences and training programs. Educators use this model to ensure that everything is aligned on learners' needs. Analysis phase. The first phase of ADDIE model is analysis. In this stage, educators identify the learning problem, understand the learners, and determine the goals of the instruction. Teachers examine the learner's prior knowledge, skills, and learning environment to ensure that the lesson or training programs address the correct needs. Design phase. The design phase focuses on planning how the instruction will be delivered. During this stage, educators create learning objectives, choose assessment strategies, and organize the structure of the lesson. This phase ensures that all components of the instruction align with the desired learning outcomes. Development phase involves creating the actual instructional materials. These materials may include slides, worksheets, videos, activities, or digital learning modules. Instructional designers assemble all resources and prepare them for delivery to learners in order for it to help in the process. Implementation phase. Implementation is a stage where the instruction is delivered to learners. Teachers present the lesson, facilitate discussions, and guide students through activities. This phase is important because it allows learners to interact with the content and apply the knowledge they are gaining from your lessons. Evaluation phase. Evaluation measures the effectiveness of the instruction. It determines whether the learning objectives were achieved. Teachers collect feedback from learners and analyze their performance in order to determine if the instructional design was successful from using. Formative evaluation. Formative evaluation occurs during the learning process. Teachers monitor student progress and provide feedback while instruction is still ongoing. This allows instructors to adjust their teaching methods and help students improve before the final assessment that you will be giving to them. Summative evaluation. Summative evaluation occurs at the end of the instruction. It measures the overall effectiveness of the learning experience. Examples include final exams, projects, presentations, or other assessments that evaluate how well students achieve the learning objectives. Advantages of ADDIE. The ADDIE model offers several advantages. It provides a structured and systematic approach to teaching and training. It also encourages continuous improvement through evaluation and feedback, ensuring that learning experience remain effective and relevant to these days. In conclusion, the ADDIE model helps educators design meaningful and organized learning experiences. By following its five phases, teachers can create lessons that meet learners' needs, achieve learning objectives, and continuously improve through feedback and evaluation. Merrill's Principles of Instruction. Merrill's Principles of Instruction is a learning model developed by David Merrill. It focuses on teaching through real-world problems and active learning. The model includes five key principles that guide effective instruction and improve student understanding. Problem-centered learning. The first principle is problem-centered learning. Students learn better when they solve real-world problems. Instruction begins with a meaningful task that motivates learners to understand the content and apply their knowledge that they have from their previous lessons. And next is activation. Activation involves connecting new knowledge with what learners already know. The teachers encourage students to recall previous experiences, ideas, or lessons that relate to the topic being studied by the students on their previous lessons. One of the most important part is demonstration. Demonstration means showing learners how something works. Teachers may provide examples and perform demonstrations like experiments or present models that clearly illustrate the concepts being taught in your classes. And that is demonstration. Next is application. Application allows learners to practice the new skill or knowledge through exercises, activities, or experiments. Students apply what they learn and strengthen their understanding on the subject they have discussed on their classes. Next is integration. Integration occurs when learners incorporate new knowledge into their daily lives. Students may present their work, discuss ideas to their peers, or explain what they learned to other people. And that is integration in this model. Active learning. What is active learning? Active learning encourages students to participate directly in the learning process rather than simply listening to lectures. Through discussions, projects, and group work, students become more engaged in learning. What is the relevance of this model to the real world? Lessons should connect with real life situations so learners understand why the knowledge is important. Real world relevance increases motivation and helps students see the value of what they are learning. What are the benefits of Merrill's principle? Merrill's principles improve engagement, deeper understanding, and practical skills. By focusing on real world problems and active learning, students develop critical thinking and become more confident learners. In conclusion, Merrill's model emphasizes learning by doing. By guiding learners through problem centered tasks, demonstrations, practice, and integration, this model ensures knowledge becomes meaningful and applicable in the real world. Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is a framework used to classify learning objectives according to different levels of thinking skills. Developed by Benjamin Bloom, it helps teachers design lessons and assessments that guide students from simple knowledge recall to complex and critical thinking. Remember, the first level of Bloom's taxonomy is remember. At this stage, learners recall basic facts, definitions, formulas, and concepts. Activities may include listing, identifying, naming, or memorizing information. Understand. The second level is understand. Learners demonstrate comprehension by explaining ideas in their own words. They may summarize information, interpret meaning, or describe concepts to show they truly understand the topic. Apply. The apply level requires students to use knowledge in new situations. Learners may solve problems, perform experiments, or use formulas and concepts in real life scenarios that they may use in real life settings or outside the school. Analyze. The analyze level involves breaking information into parts to understand relationships and patterns. Students may compare ideas, identify cause and effects, or examine evidence to understand deeper meanings from it. Evaluate. Evaluation requires learners to make judgments based on criteria and evidence. Students may critique arguments, justify decisions, or defend their opinions using logical reasoning. And that is evaluate. Create. Create is the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. At this stage, students generate new ideas, design projects, develop solutions, or create original work based on what they have learned. And that is to create something. What is the importance of Bloom's taxonomy in the education? Bloom's taxonomy is important because it helps teachers design effective lessons and assessment. It encourages students to move beyond memorization and develop deeper understanding and higher order thinking skills. What is the application in the classroom settings? Teachers apply Bloom's taxonomy by creating activities that challenge students at different thinking levels. These activities help learners develop problem solving skills, creativity, and critical thinking. In conclusion, Bloom's taxonomy provides a structured approach to learning. By guiding students from remembering information to creating new ideas, It helps develop higher level of thinking skills that are essential for academic and real-world success.